Today's interview is for May 10th, 2016 with Mrs. Vitatoe.
Oh, no, we lose it. I think she has some of those lifters. I think she has Ashley.
You guys all asking questions?
Yes. We are.
Wait,
Miss Jameson, is this on YouTube?
It will be.
Asking the question either.
Yeah, I'm not asking questions. Should I move? I'm not asking questions either. This is the same thing as my interview.
Bye, guys.
I'll sit in this. I guess it's here.
I thought if you were, I thought if it was in
Hey there.
Hello.
Can you guys hear me?
There we are.
Oh, I don't have any.
Can you see us?
Hi.
Hi.
1100-1817. I can't hear them at all.
Okay.
Oh my God.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can.
Wonderful. I didn't have any volume.
Okay. You have us now?
I can see myself. I cannot see you.
You can't see us. Okay. We can see you. Is there a menu down below that says, let's see.
Oh, we have Ashley here with us, but we can't figure out how to see you. And this was working fine previously.
I don't know how to help. Don't ask me. It worked last night.
Nope, it's not working.
Whoa.
What?
Oh, we can still see ourselves, but not you guys. I can hear you. I just can't see you.
We can both hear and see you.
Well, not really sure what's going on there. I'm going to try and mess around with some of these settings, but I'm not as familiar with this program as you guys.
We didn't go live when I was doing it here. Like we actually like sent her like message to each other and it worked like that. You don't want to do this.
Oh, but this is on air. Yeah. And that's how I can have the recording for the class. You see what I'm saying? I think we'll still have her. Are you okay going on with this? Because we would still have you. You just can't see her. You can't see Tommy's funny face as he's.
I can't see any of you. I'm literally looking at ourselves.
Aw.
I know. I had you when we first made the call.
When we first started today?
Yeah, I saw you, but then it switched back to us somehow, and I'm not sure how or why.
Oh, I know. You see us now?
Can you see us both?
Yeah, okay. But it goes back and forth as we talk.
Okay.
So it's changing depending on who talks.
Yeah. So my name is Jenn Vitatoe. The one in the front belongs to me. This is Ashley Helwig. Sometimes he belongs to her as well, depending on whether or not, I'm in the country. So I thought it would be cool for her to come in here because we work together. And she does something a little bit different from what I do. And Tommy's sort of familiar with what we both do, but not in a big way. So we understand that you guys are simply asking us questions. So, oh, did we lose you again? Okay. This is not working.
So like talking.
I know, we can't hear you. We have no sound.
Wait.
Can you hear us?
We can now.
Okay. You can now?
I can hear you now, yes.
Okay. And you can see us?
I can see you just fine.
Okay. So I will have a student come up to the microphone, ask a question. They'll go back to their seat. At any point, if you want to add anything, that's awesome. That's great.
Okay.
Okay. There you go. Zane, you're going first.
Alright. How long have you been working in this field or in the company you work for?
Well, I've been working for this company since July of 2007.
I've been working for this company full time since September of 2011.
2010.
2010.
But Ashley started doing some things around the office for us in 2008. So we've both been with our company for a long time. I had a year experience at a different agency before starting here. So roughly 10 years and about that.
Yeah. About 5 consecutively for me, because the first 2 I was kind of just doing odds and ends, not really straight insurance work.
Okay, Tamara, you want to go up?
Yeah. I can't figure it out.
Get closer to the mic, Tamara.
How long does it take to insure an item?
Well, it depends on the value of the item. Properties that are large can take quite some time, 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks, really, depending on the level of level of coverage, level of approval, things like that. I have had a really high value account that I've been working on since February 25th that I just placed as of yesterday. So it can take some time, but if, for example, you wanted to get car insurance today, 2 hours tops, maybe.
Amani?
What is the process of becoming a personal insurance account manager?
It's funny that I just asked this afternoon because I was actually at a company with prior experience as an typically speaking, you'll need to have some level of degree and some level of experience. The industry has sort of changed over the last 5 to 10 years. We are grandfathered in at this point. Insurance as a industry, it's regulated by the government. So technically speaking, all you need is a property and casualty license. Recently obtained 3 years ago.
Yeah, so I've been licensed for about 3 years, but it took me 2 times to take the class, the 40 hours that you have to put in, and then you have to take a test at the end. You have to have at least a 70% to pass and obtain your license. If you get anything below 70%, you're back to the drawing board, and you can take the test through a total of 3 times in the class as a whole.
And you have to sit for the exam the same way that you would for the bar or for a medical license. You are monitored by video and audio. It's very regulated. So technically speaking, that is all you need is a property and casualty license. You will do. But most companies do not hire you anymore without a 4-year degree. And that is a relative. It was about 5 years ago, you could go to school for insurance. But now, Kent offers a 4-year degree and Bowling Green offers a minor in insurance services.
Great, thank you. Musa?
How does insuring something work?
Well, it depends on what you're insuring. Things that I insure are personal possessions. Ashley does some bonds, so those are a little bit different. That's a liability, so it's not a tangible product. To insure something for me, essentially all you're doing when you're insuring something is purchasing a contract. So what you would do is you would contact the agency, you would provide us with some information, we would throw it into some software, we would get a rate back and give You would review it, with a signed application premium, and then your insurance at that point. So basically, the concept is you're purchasing a contract to that's agreeing to pay for something within certain parameters in the event of a loss. But Ashley has to insurance rule a little bit more recently than I have. She actually has insurance as how it's designed by the state of Ohio. We have it written down for her.
Where are we?
Somewhere on here. The state of Ohio defines insurance as a legally binding contract that you purchase in which the insurer agrees to compensate you for a specific loss, damage, illness, or death in return for a premium paid. It's been a long time since I took that 40-hour class, in case you guys haven't really picked up on that yet.
Okay.
No, I am freezing.
Oh. Uh-oh. Did we lose you guys again?
What?
Can you guys hear us?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's the most expensive item you've ever insured?
Well, we had a client who is the owner of a very large corporation that I am not at liberty to disclose, but it would be a recognizable name to you as a household product. And his first wife had a $1.5 million 14-karat diamond ring. So that one was pretty expensive. The second Mrs. Client has a $787,000 diamond ring, so it was kind of half the value. We also have some interesting artifacts. We have somebody who has a $717,000 Native American artifact insured, but the fun things are usually the cars. We have a lot of high-value cars. Just in the last month alone, we've had a 2016 Porsche 911 Turbo.
The Ferrari.
The Ferrari.
The Tesla.
That one came from, Tesla. The Ferrari came from California. It was $235,000. And then we also had an Aston Martin Volante limited edition. That one was $290,000, and it was incredibly difficult to place because of it being limited edition. Parts aren't available for it, so no one wanted to insure it because they're then legally obligated to pay for those parts. And if you can't find the parts, you simply have to pay out the full amount of the value of the car because it's no longer back to what you started with.
$95,000. Completely solid.
Yeah, somebody a $99,000 weight. There's a lot of interesting up in the high value world. Oh, we have the purse, the diamond Birkin bag. That one actually a diplomat owns. When she takes that bag out, she has to have security personnel with her.
Jacob?
What type of skills are needed in order to be a insurance account manager?
Patience. A lot of patience.
It's a lot of client service. So I don't know if any of you have jobs, but if you work in the food industry or in retail, you know that it's really easy to work with, and that is at the biggest and the ability to multitask because you're just constantly calling in or people emailing or sales staff hearing in front of you, and everybody needs something different. So multitasking, the ability to read and policy, which can be a lot of it, and it just a lot of that comes with experience. And insurance is one of those bizarre industries where until you are actually doing it, you're not really going to have a good handle on it because every single situation is unique because every person's needs is unique. So for example, what Tommy has, what the gal sitting next to him is radically different. So it's just
Why does it keep like sticking out while in the?
I don't know if it's on the Wi-Fi, if it's on a hard line or not. I don't know. Nathan.
I'm on a activity. That's what.
No, you keep cutting in and out.
Oh, sorry.
Sometimes it's really good, and sometimes it's not.
Like it'll be really fine for a second, and then you go to talk and it just cuts out.
Not all the time.
We are not on a hotline. We're on a 4G connectivity, but I think we were a little too close to the camera, to be honest with you. Hopefully that's better.
Yeah, we can hear you now. Nathan.
Okay, what are the benefits or rewards for working on your job?
I would have to say that anywhere that you can go, you can pretty much take your license in the United States. You don't have to always be in one state. You can travel, you can live your life. You may have to retake a test, but you can still have a livelihood after you can leave. And really, you can know that every day you kind of do the same thing. You're insuring a car, you're insuring a house. Like she said, you're insuring a Tesla versus, a 95 Ford Beater. It's vastly different, and you come across very interesting claim situations. We have several with hoarding, with biohazard, which is body cleanup. So your everyday can be the same, but it isn't in the same sense. So you really have just a changing life, like a changing career every day.
And it evolves with the economy. It evolves with society. The things that we were insuring 10 years ago are not the same things that we are insuring today.
Right.
So it is definitely an ever-changing industry, which is nice. It's also not an industry where there's a lot of young professionals, so it is nicer for people like Ashley and I because we bring a different mindset to it, and that would be a good thing for you guys too, because a lot of the insurance support staff especially are near or nearing retirement age, as people choose degrees now, and before you didn't really have to do anything other than to be able to like type a bond or something like that to work in this industry. Now it's different. So there's a lot of need for young professionals, especially in the technology world. But I would definitely have to say that for myself as well, the biggest benefit to working in insurance is that the U.S. government mandates that you purchase our product. You have to have auto insurance if you own a vehicle, and you have to have health insurance. So literally anywhere you go, we have a job, because everywhere you need these products. And your mortgage company will require you to purchase homeowners as well.
Okay, thank you. Trayvon.
Fantastic.
So, how many people work in the industry that you guys do? Like, do you guys need more people doing this, or?
How many people work in my office?
Well, no, like, how many people do this as a job in this industry? Like, do you guys need more people to do this, or?
Insurance like, is it like, are they going to easily be?
Oh, yeah.
Super crowded.
Just in Ohio, there are several large. Progressive Insurance is one of the largest insurers in the nation. It's in Mayfield Heights. Westfield Insurance is in Medina. Grange Insurance, State Auto Insurance, they're headquartered in Columbus, so there is a definite demand. These are large, big companies. As far as, I'm not sure that I could quite hear you, and I apologize because you were cutting out a little bit, but there is a lot of people that work in the insurance industry, and that didn't mean much to me prior to starting in the insurance industry, but it is a very large industry. As a matter of fact, there's a whole day. Last week, Thursday, was I-Day, Insurance Day in Northern Ohio.
The Westfield Day that you guys go to.
Oh, yeah, Westfield Day. There's all sorts of days.
You have entire outings where it's weekends, and you go and meet other insurance professionals. So there's so many people to connect with that are in and outside of your state, because this job is in such high demand, because, again, you need to have insurance.
Mm-hmm. And we don't actually have, neither of us hold life and health designations, but, now with the Affordable Health Care Act, you have to purchase medical insurance as well. So there's a definite demand for it, and no matter which segment you choose.
Great, thank you. Any other questions from anyone in the audience? Is there anything else you'd like to share with us that didn't come up in the questions that you think is important?
Well, insurance probably sounds really boring right now. As we talk about, like, how do you become an insurance agent? How do you become a support staff? Something like that. And it is. It's a lot of paperwork. There's a lot of intriguing situations, specifically with claims. I actually only deal with a small segment of claims. I will simply, I have to remove myself very quickly from a claim situation because I'm not, I have to represent my client. But Ashley, on the other hand, she gets to do a lot of data entry for claims. So she has all sorts of interesting scenarios. So if you'd like to hear about a couple of perhaps a little bit gruesome claims, we're happy to tell you about them.
Yes, please. We have plenty of time. You said gross? You said something.
Biohazard.
When you insure, if you own a second home, one that you do not live in, you have the option to rent it out to a renter, and that's a dwelling fire policy. But if it's vacant, you state that on the insurance company, otherwise your coverage is null and void. We had somebody who said that he was living in his second house, but really his wife was just upset that all his hoarding was in their house, so he moved the hoarding to the other home. At one point, the water from the basement ended up rising throughout the entire basement, and his house was just completely destroyed. And there were roaches coming up through the sink. There were actual garbage and bodily functions coming up through the basement. I mean, the pictures are very graphic.
And that is a common occurrence, by the way. Water coming up through the basement is typically going to have sewage with it. It's not common, however, to encounter a full hoarding situation. It requires special cleanup. It requires a special unit. The cleaning of contents can just exhaust your policy limits. So typically, if we find out you're a hoarder, you're just going to get canceled right off the bat.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, in this case, we found out after the claim, the damage was done. We have pictures of the hoarding if you would actually like to see it.
Sure.
Let's see if I can figure out how to screen share here. While I'm doing that, Ashley's going to tell you about how we had a commercial client, who they own apartment buildings, mostly for the elderly, and someone actually exploded because of his internal gases, and that was covered.
Yes, it was a covered claim. His body had not been discovered for over a week. Other tenants had been complaining about a horrific smell, and when they went into the apartment, he had either had a heart attack, fallen in the kitchen, and the entire kitchen was covered in his body. All the gases had exploded. Everything had come out, every end. And because of that, you have to go in and you have to have biohazard cleanup, or also like a meth lab. If you have a meth lab explosion, you need to go in and have people with special masks, special equipment to be able to clean up what could be dangerous materials lying around.
We've had a couple of murders, unfortunately, as well. And the cleanup from that is also covered, which sounds bizarre, but it is true. So we had a mentally ill patient who stabbed our client. And the cleanup, there was blood everywhere, literally. But they the insurer replaced all of the carpeting, all of the paint. They paid for all of the cleanup. So sometimes it's very interesting as far as claims go.
Well, and as far as claims go, when you are a commercial client and you're having, several clients.
They can hear you. I just can't.
When you have, several employees working together, workman's comp is a policy that you need to hold, and that's if anything were to happen between your employees. We had an insured who had 2 employees, and one of the employees actually murdered the other employee, and because a background check was not done on him, they did not see that he was recently released from jail for things like rape, murder. And unfortunately now their policy now has to take care of her wrongful death.
That's a liability concern about is property. I am going to stop sharing my screen because I didn't realize I'm not signed into our server, and I'll just a little bit. We've also had liabilities, and they also happen either drunk drivers or teens. So slow down. But that's a big situation. It's sad. It's hard for us because you're dealing with a grieving family at the same time as you're dealing with a claim with people's livelihoods. So that's always interesting. And then Ashley gets a lot of strange callers that call here requesting insurance on the strangest
Strange callers. I had somebody yesterday ask me who we were and why we were charging him money for his house. And we had to discuss that he had to have his house covered, and that was his policy. We have a couple of people who called here drunk at 9 a.m. There's a couple of interesting characters, but for the most part, a lot of our people have been insured here for a very long time, so you're able to develop a relationship, with a father, and then his son, moves out and gets married, and then with his family and stuff like that. But so you kind of have like a relationship with these people in the end because it's a family business.
It is definitely a family-oriented business, and sadly, we have a lot of elderly clients because they age with us, and so the person in question likely was. We see a lot of people suffering from dementia or something like that, and so they'll call in repeatedly inquiring about things like the paperwork they get in the mail or what have you. So sometimes it's just interesting from that standpoint.
We've had people here who come with producers who the producers unfortunately have passed on, and we've had to pass on to their insureds the sad news, and just to see the devastation on the insureds and to lose someone they valued their business, they respected them, and that producer did such a good job for their needs.
Our agency was formed like 100 years ago, literally, and one of the original owners was 94 when he passed away last
coming into the office.
Last summer or the summer before, and he literally worked here until the day that he died. So that's what she is referencing. We had clients for about a good year calling in and complaining because we're not him, I guess. So it's really interesting sometimes.
It is, because people really do trust you in the end, because they're trusting you with they're essentially with their livelihood. Because, if you aren't covered correctly, and your son hit somebody with their car and they weren't covered, and all of a sudden you used to own a business, but now you don't because you needed to max that out to pay for that mistake. So
because we are a litigious society, there's a lot of liability, and so again, what she's saying is liability. Like, you would have to purchase liability from us in order to not lose your business in the event of a claim. When you were sued personally for something. So that's another product that we sell, but it's part of your normal policies or whatever. Did you guys lose us again? Or is insurance boring?
Just listening. Yeah.
What about any other questions that you guys might have? Any other, like Tommy, sometimes you've heard about like interesting claims or things like that. Insurance is legal jargon, and it's not a tangible product. It sounds boring, and I apologize for that, but kind of is what it is.
No, it's good for them. They think hope is after school's done, so it's good for them to know.
I have a question for you. Are there still vicious breeds of dogs that they consider that vicious and they won't insure homeowners?
Yeah, we actually, it's so difficult to place people once they have a dog that has bitten, period. It doesn't matter whether or not it's a vicious dog or not, but there are definitely about 9 breeds that we will not be able to insure you if you have them in your home, period. Pit bulls, Akitas, Chows, Rottweilers. There's a bunch of, we've had somebody who had a wolf hybrid. That's definitely not an option. Huskies. There's a bunch of them, but those are about the biggest one. Yeah, the one that we were talking about was a service dog. It was a golden retriever, but it repeatedly kept biting, and so they have been without liability coverage for a very long time because of that. We also had a very high net worth individual who had a pit bull. We managed to get him coverage. It bit someone. The insurance policy mandated that they sign an exclusion form and get rid of the dog. They got rid of the dog. They signed the exclusion form. His wife went back to the dog rescue, brought the dog back, and it bit someone else. So that can be a bit of a problem, the dogs. And actually, you will get charged a premium, period, if you have a dog on your premises. An additional.
Get charged extra if you have a dog.
Right. Actuaries have determined that if you have a pet in the house, there's a higher incidence of loss.
I told her to bring it up.
What happened? And what about trampolines or 4-wheelers or guns, anything like that?
Guns, there's special limits up to $1,000 typically in your standard homeowner's policy, but you can schedule more. Any intentional act with a weapon is going to be excluded. We're not going to pay for that. Trampolines, you can get coverage for. There's going to be all sorts of requirements, and it'll be excluded from an umbrella. Pools, you'll have to have a safety cover or a 4-foot fence if you're going to have an in-ground pool. We recommend not having them. They're too much of a liability concern, quite frankly, and you pay a lot of premium for them. Insurance is mostly minimizing risk.
I'm sure you're safe. You still have the money left.
Right.
We got excited when you mentioned actuary, because that's what I've been using for my example career, is actuary. So it's it's a real thing.
It is. Risk management and actuaries are real, very much real, and they drive the insurance industry. Actuaries determine all these, for example, a dog, and all this data, and they determine what type of premium based on all of them.
It's saying why not to insure
Statistically, Long-Cream.
Yes, yes.
You're talking about Long Came Polly. Like the movie Along Came Polly? He was Mary.
I'm not sure what's happening. You're like cutting really bad. Going out again.
Sorry.
Sorry.
We might be too.
It's too loud.
Oh, is that?
Yeah.
I can turn it down.
My time.
There's a viewer? That's weird. That's me.
Is that better?
No, it's not our sound.
It's the microphone picking up our sound.
comes up.
Is that better?
The microphone.
That's our microphone. Too much sound.
If we do like that? Oh, turn this off?
That's how this sounds.
Oh. But if I cut this out, she can't hear us unless we plug it
Just
in.
turn it back in.
I can hear you.
We've all been watching it. Oh, that's what, okay, that makes sense.
Hello. Are you guys able to hear us at all? Ashley is our like resident insurance fraud buster. There's a whole thing in insurance called the insurance fraud hotline. There's a whole department. There's a whole bunch of people who attempt to basically just commit insurance fraud, get money from their policy, and it's become such a prevalent problem that there's an actual department at the state of Ohio called Fraud Busters, like literally. So whenever we have like a dicey claim, she kind of goes through a little bit.
Our same friend with the 95,000 Rolls Royce paperweight, he also, you know, I crashed my boat, but tries what it's called backdating. He wants to, is that what he was doing?
Yeah, he
Coverage?
was trying to backdate coverage.
He was trying to backdate coverage, which is fraud, because if you have a loss on today that you were not covered yesterday, you can't ask for coverage to be effective yesterday and then turn in the loss today, because that's illegal. And when you're doing things like that, it just throws up a red flag that you are trying to scam the insurance company. And when you're trying to do that, obviously you can be prosecuted.
You can go
like
to
that.
jail.
Mhm.
Like,
And
it's a definite thing. It's against the
absolutely.
law.
Or if he had asked me for that coverage and I forgot to put it on his policy, and then I called, you know, Progressive and said, hi, I completely forgot, or oh, I should have done this at renewal, can you put it on? And they do it unsuspectingly, and I then turn in the claim several days later. That's now me committing insurance fraud, because I
Yes.
knowingly know that he did not have the coverage and I attempted to put it back on.
So not only will you as the client go to jail or have to
But
pay fines,
also
but
me
she'll get her
myself.
license taken away. She also faces court or criminal charges. So we have to carry special insurance for ourselves, errors and omissions coverage, to kind of like offset our mistakes and dodge things, you know, like actual fraud.
Right.
We can't commit it either. I guess it's not all that exciting,
No.
but
No.
it's exciting for us because it's a lot of paperwork around the office. I think we might have lost them again.
Oh, it's installing. Test, test, can you hear me?
I can hear you guys.
Okay, we had to switch mics. We think our other mic was picking up too much of our sound, and that's what was cutting you out.
Oh, that sucks. Has it been doing that the whole time? I'm sorry.
It's way better now.
Well,
Everything you've been talking about, I think, is fantastic. I think the students are riveted. Let's see. We'll have a round of applause. They like it. They like it. I think they're a little disappointed in the open two thing.
I invite you
They
to
like gruesome stuff.
It's not a riveting industry. It is, and that's
Can't hear you.
I can hear you guys just fine.
No, I turned this off. No, the speakers are on. We have
Unplug the
speakers
mic and
on.
see if she can hear us again. Yes.
No.
But it was working.
I can hear you guys.
We just can't hear you.
Yeah, we can't hear you now.
Ask her if she can hear us right now.
I can hear you.
And you can hear us?
Yeah, it's your
Yeah.
computer now has speakers.
They, oh, you know what? They disconnected it on here.
Yeah, so that one, they can hear us out of that computer.
Okay.
We didn't hear about the last, like, any of what you said.
About fraud.
No, we heard about fraud.
No, like after that, like as she was saying thank you and everything.
Oh, I did riveting. By all means, come spend a couple days here. We invite you to intern for us. It's not that riveting, but it's very important work.
Insurance classes?
I said she wears glasses.
I can't we'll be able to see your screen, but I'm having a difficult time seeing you without
I thought this was your insurance classes. Like, I fell asleep twice in my classes.
All right, I'm not sure that you guys can hear me. Are we
Yeah,
done
we
here?
Anything else, guys? No? Okay, let's thank them for being in.
I love you guys.
Sorry, Tommy. All right.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Have a great day.
You too. No.
What's for dinner? Oh, she didn't give me number before. So why did you want to I think it's a little bit delayed. She didn't,